Okay, I got a little sidetracked. That back got a little intense, and it was gonna be impossible to do that and talk at the same time. But yeah, honey, that's how you go extinct. You know, they like, oh, he, don't ever think he's stronger than you, honey. He ain't never been stronger than you. That motherfucker came over here weak, starving, no natural resources, fucking rotten ass teeth, bathing once a year, plagues and shit. Them motherfuckers that just come out the Black Plague. Don't get that motherfucking twisted. This motherfucker came over here. This nigga always used biological warfare. You know what I'm saying? The same way he get at you now with fucking the Zika virus and AIDS and hepatitis and syphilis and all that. That motherfucker comes all fashions, okay, bitch? He bring a gun, a pen, and his nasty, stinking, diseased ass with all his motherfucking recessive, fucking drop dead cough on your ass, and you got some plague ass shit, okay? So I just combed out that little bit, so that's as combed out as we gonna get. Let's get back into this. Let's go back. Land of Promise. That was in Mississippi. Okay. So far, because I done got all discombobulated. Let's go back to the beginning. So far, we have, and you guys go back and do your own research. Really do. Don't believe shit nobody say. You know, that's the new thing. Don't believe nobody say. Go do your own research. And stop using motherfucking Google. Okay? Google is created by human beings. People can put whatever the fuck they want on Google about anything. So stop just Google, motherfucker. There's the congressional records of Congress. Go to those. Okay? Go to your fucking grandparents' obituaries. And then go to their parents' obituaries. And in obituaries, that's why I love black folks. And they keep telling us we ain't got no history. We don't write shit down. Motherfucker, in my family, if you just go grab the obituaries, you can take your ass all the way back to the 1700s. And through that, you find out everything. You find out who was married to who she left behind, what church she was baptized in, where they lived, who they moved to, whose aunt raised to. Everything is in the motherfucking obituaries. Okay, I digress. So, first black township that I said was in Seneca Valley, New York. The town was destroyed to take control of what they are now calling Central Park. That was all indigenous land, which was now called Central Park. They claim it was founded in 1825, but then people had been there. Okay. The township, in 1955, the census showed that it had 250 people. It was in existence for 32 years, and then they completely destroyed it so that they could build Central Park, because, you know, that's what they do. After that, we have the North Brentwood in Maryland. Told you about that one. That was incorporated in 1924. Incorporated and established are two different things. Founded, got there are two different things. Incorporated, 1924. That's in North Brentwood, Maryland. Number 3, we have in Weekville, New York, which I spoke about, which is Bedford in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn region. I keep saying Bed-Stuy. Sorry, you guys. I'm not from New York, so excuse me if I fuck that all the way up. Okay, and then we have Greenwood in Oklahoma. That was affluent, sprawling. June 1921, they burnt that motherfucker down to the ground too, and that's not Tulsa. Okay? Immigrants. Let's get that right. European immigrants burnt that down to the ground. Okay? Then we have the Land of Promise and Mound. Oh, Mound. The Mound Builders. M-O-U-N-D. Mound Bayou. Mound near the water. Mississippi. Interesting. Mississippi River. Do your shit. Next, we have the City on the Move. Glen Garden, Maryland. Okay, got started in 1910 when a black man named W.R. Smith purchased multiple tracts of land and founded a residential community of about 15 people. The small town, built near the Washington, Beaumont, and Appalachian Electric Railroad, flourished over the next 3 decades, 30 years, and developed into a middle-class suburb. Neighborhoods of 2-room schoolhouses and the St. Joseph Catholic Church. You know them Catholics was in there. Okay, next one. A place for free men and women and children called the Freemen's Village in Virginia. Okay, let's just go on. Oh, it was established in 1863. The community was founded to address the increased number of black Americans who escaped slavery in the South. So you telling me they established a town because it was so many blacks running away from slavery in the South that a town was established? During the Civil War. See, they hold this whole slavery shit and these chains and whipping you on trees and 12-year a slave and all this shit is sounding real motherfucking suspect because the two don't coincide. Okay? These motherfuckers had school. So that means that they was reading in 1863. That means they had land in 1863. I thought there were laws about when it came time to vote that if you couldn't read or write and you didn't own land, you couldn't vote. But if you could read or write and you did own land, you could vote. So it looks to me like these niggas own land and could read and write because they had a schoolhouse with over 150 students and it was enrolled to the peak, and in 10 years it had up to 900 students. Students were coming from all other black villages, they said, in the area to learn in their schools. And it operated for 30 years. The U.S. Supreme Court, see how I told you the government helps the immigrants, it's all in the system, honey. The U.S. Supreme Court closed the Freeman Village, however, in 1882 and allotted the land to the military. So it seems to me that when the Civil War was over and the new established U.S. corporation started going around stealing land again, they stole these motherfuckers' land and gave it to the military, their government army. Okay. Let's keep going. Because there is another video I watched, very interesting, that a lot of the indigenous people of this land, tombs and graveyards are on military bases around the U.S. Strategic. Then you can't dig up your shit. That's why there ain't no American history. Then we have the Black Ghost Town. It's called Blackdon in New Mexico. The modest town of Blackdon was founded by Frank Boyer and Ella Lewis McGregor, according to the city's official website. It was the first all-black settlement in the New Mexico territory by 1908. See, I can always tell who this information is coming from. I pretty much get it. I just want to know where the township was and around the years it was established and who was in it. Because you can tell when the white man got his fucking hands all in your history, because he starts saying shit like first. Like, who the fuck are you? You're not even fucking from here. How do you know the first about shit? And you from over there. You're an immigrant. How the fuck can you write first of any? This shit make me so mad. That's probably why I didn't read this shit in that last fucking video, because it makes me so fucking mad. Then we have the Emancipation Proclamation of the South, and then you get Fort Moses, Florida. Okay? Tucked in the marshes of St. Augustus lies the site of the first free community of enslaved Africans. Which, let me tell you, that's a bunch of bullshit. Because when there were 13 motherfucking colonies, Florida was free. And you have to understand, Florida was everything in the South, from Florida damn near all the way to Texas, all North Carolina, and most of South Carolina. South Carolina was a quarter of the size it was now, and that was part of the 13 colonies. See, you have to understand, when there was 13 colonies, the rest of the fucking Americas was fucking free. I mean, you know, people were fighting each other, people were fighting the Spanish. So what happened was the Spanish came up and said, oh, okay, Florida is ours. You have to understand, Florida was everything. Florida was Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Louisiana. All of the fucking South was Florida up until 1821. Do your research. That was all Florida. So motherfuckers, like, this is bullshit. How can this be the first free anything in fucking Florida when you had 13 colonies, Florida was fucking free, and that's where the goddamn Seminoles were, and those are the motherfuckers that kept beating y'all motherfucking asses in them colonies, and that's why South Carolina kept turning around to the other 12 colonies saying, please come help us, because these motherfuckers keep riding on us, beating our motherfucking asses, and our slaves are starting to, you know, rise up on us. They starting to be like, you know, fuck this, that I owe you 3 more years of my motherfucking life. I'm about to fucking bounce. This is some fucking bullshit. Okay? And then South Carolina started passing them motherfucking Negro codes. And them Negro codes said shit like slaves can no longer move freely around South Carolina. You trying to tell me slaves were allowed to move freely during slavery? Check the laws, motherfuckers, when y'all wasn't around to read. When it was against the law for you to read English. Right? Because everyone's an immigrant, right? Spain, France, Portugal, right? Ireland, right? Germany, Russia, right? Everyone's a fucking immigrant, right? So no one's reading one universal language, right? There ain't no like one universal English language that everyone's trying to read, right? The Italians speak Italian, the French speak French, the Spanish speak Spanish, right? You get one person to come in that can speak to an indigenous person. Everyone just ain't these motherfuckers could move around freely. Then another one of the laws said that they could no longer congregate in groups and shit. Oh, so not only could they move around freely, these motherfuckers was able to get together and have meetings, go to the club, kick it, have card parties, interact. Okay. And then another one of the Negro codes that was passed in South Carolina because of the fear, right, of all these free niggas right down the street. Hell of them, right? Another one of the laws was that every colonist, that means every citizen of South Carolina colony, had to carry a firearm, even on Sunday. So just saying that lets me know, like, oh, it was against the law to carry guns on Sunday. And now they're saying you can carry guns on Sunday. So now the preacher has a gun. So now everyone has a gun. So it sounds to me like people are really scared in the South Carolina colony, right? Because now you're restricting the black people. They can no longer congregate. They can no longer move around freely. Oh, the big one. They can no longer grow their own food. They can no longer... Oh, so they were slaves working the land. They could move around freely. They can congregate and have meetings and shit. And they could grow their own food in their little housing situation. So they restricted all that. So when they restricted all that, and then the enslaved indigenous blacks found out about that, revolts. Revolts in the South Carolina colonies. Another thing I want to throw in here with all these lies they keep telling us. Back to that running north for freedom, right? Harriet Tubman running north, right? Because now, if you're in the South, right, and you got to run to Canada, it's like 900 miles, right? But if you telling me that the 13 colonies are there and a quarter of South Carolina of what it is today is the southernness of the fucking colonies, and everything else was considered Florida, and the Spaniards said, I own it, but they weren't occupying it. So that's where all the free blacks were. That's where all the Native American, Asian created would run when they were going to become families with the black indigenous people because they wasn't down with what they brothers and shit was doing, trading, kissing, licking the ass of the fucking Brits. Okay? So, if you a slave and you in the southern belt, South Carolina, and you're in the 13 colonies and you're enslaved, which way would you run? Would you run 900 miles north to Canada? Or would you run 50 miles south to Florida? I'd run south. Everything they tell you is backwards. Everything they tell you is upside down. Everything they tell you is the opposite. Witchcraft. Curses. Cursing. Witchcraft. Okay? Curses. Everything is backwards. I want you to always understand. Everything is backwards. Everything is backwards. They lie about every fucking thing.